What's up, y'all? It's your boy QP, my man John Jones, Carmen, Shamwell in the building. Nerds rule the world. Peace review. We just got out of a press screening for, as you see, Thunderbolts. We're all fighting to be up in here. Everybody fighting. Thoughts on the film, John? What do you think coming out?
A lot of hype behind it. Don't think it flies with the hype train, but it's a good movie, and I like the underlying message of community in there. I like that.
All right, and my girl Carmen was good.
I liked it. I don't really know what hype that there was because I don't watch previews, but I really enjoyed it. I think if you really liked, Winter Soldier and the Falcon, you'll really like this a lot.
Definitely. I think, I don't know what the hype you talking about. I think it's because we have the same critic friends and they were hyping it and they really enjoyed it. Shout out to them though. But we're going to have a full review because I'm getting close on the time. I enjoyed it. If you've invested your time into this, you'll appreciate this because it's just paying off. Perfectly imperfect people coming together. Your boy, QP, Nerds Rule the World, John Jones, Carmen, we out. Nerds Rule the World. What's up, y'all? It's your boy QP and my pal John Jones from the Peach Review. We're going to be talking all about Marvel Studios' Thunderbolts, and what do they call that asterisk at the end of it? Because there's something else that's about Thunderbolts. But before we get into it, we're going to talk about the trailer, and this is going to be a spoiler review, y'all. The film's already out now, and I want to talk about some things, so this is going to be hashtag spoilers, so me and John can dig in, because I got a vibe from him right now that he felt some kind of way about it, and I felt another kind of way. That's generally what happens a lot with John in these with he and I and my pal, our mutual pal Anthony, sometimes with reviews. So I'm really curious how he's gonna go about it. I'm gonna go in. We're gonna both go in on this, but let's check out the trailer. Marvel Studios Thunderbolts. Here we go.
Yelena, being a hero, there is no higher calling. Your sister understood something about that.
I should have come back for you.
No. That's just a fairy tale.
I was in high school when the Avengers came. Kind of strange that it's all over now. No one's coming to save the day.
I think we are. We can be the ones that are coming.
Bucky, you have the wrong people. We have all done bad things.
Look, I've been where you are. The past doesn't go away. So you can either live with it forever, or you can do something about it. I am a void. Look what you unleashed. You can't outrun the emptiness.
We can't do this. No one here is a hero.
We all have things that we regret.
But I have so many.
Yelena, when I look at you, I don't see your mistakes. That's why we need each other.
We can't stop him alone. No one can. But we can find a way. Together.
Marvel Studios Thunderbolts.
All right, that was a trailer for Thunderbolts. Thunderbolts is in theaters now. John Jones, initial thoughts when you first saw maybe the teaser trailer or just trailers leading up to Thunderbolts. What was your vibe heading into Thunderbolts?
Unimpressed. I thought I was like, okay, this will be cool. This will be funny. The last time they got together, there was some humor to it. But I was just like, okay, I'm going to see how it connects to the rest of the MCU. But I mean, I wasn't super duper geeked about it. No, was not.
Interesting. All right. I lead from the teasers, and I tried not to watch any trailer after the teaser trailer for Thunderbolts because they give shit away. And that trailer that we just saw was the final trailer that they put together. I would have been very upset if I watched that because it took away so many of the great moments that you experience while watching the film. So as a news outlet, I don't know about you, John, but I've started we'll do teasers because we do reactions to teasers, to trailers, here on Nerds Rule the World. But we've really cut it off with just a teaser because as we see these Hollywood studios, they're just giving away way too much. And it also takes away from the true moments when you experience it while watching the film. And so, yeah, it's just disheartening. And I don't know. I don't like it because I want to enjoy what the studio wanted me to see from the jump off as you go through it as a film. So, yeah, just really disappointing with that. But the initial teaser, I'm a Marvel stan. I'll always be a Marvel stan. I'm a comic stan. Low expectations. Because I want to moderate my expectation level. A lot of films that people hate, which I'm probably sure you as well in regards to the Marvel stuff. I can never hate it because I'm a cat that grew up on comics, and I just love seeing them, portrayed on the big screen. And I'm cool with the stories. I know that each studio is giving me something different, and I actually want that. I want there to be differences with some of the different projects and how they all kind of come together. I don't need them all to be cookie cutter and be the same. So I like the differences. So my expectations were low, and then we'll get into our thoughts when we get into the review portion. But before we do that, John, before I turn it back over to you, like I said, as people know, as they watch my reviews here on NRW, I gotta give a shout out to the cast and crew. As always, I'm only gonna highlight a few, but it takes a village to make a film. So shout out to everybody over at Marvel Studios for putting this film together. But I will highlight a few people real quickly involved with the film. The director on Thunderbolts is Jake Shear. Writers are Eric Pearson, who's did the screenplay, as well as Joanna, Calo. And the story was also by them as well. And over on IMDb, they're also listing some of the creators behind some of the different parts of the original portions that came from the comics, such as Mark Bagley and Kurt Busiek, who created the Thunderbolts within the comics, Stan Lee and Jack Kirby, who created the Avengers, Joe Simon, who created Captain America, Paul Jenkins and Jay Lee, who created the Sentry. But the screenplay writers on this was Eric Pearson and Joanna Calo. And Eric also did the original story that was based off of the screenplay that he adapted with Joanna Calo. That's your kind of the crew side. Your cast is Florence Pugh as Yelena Belova, the Black Widow. Sebastian Stan is Bucky Barnes, the Winter Soldier. Julia Louis-Dreyfus is Valentina Allegra de Fontaine. Don't forget the duh. Louis Pullman is Bob, a.k.a. Robert Reynolds, a.k.a. The Sentry. David Harbour plays Alexei Shostakov, who is the Red Guardian. Wyatt Russell is John Walker, a.k.a. the U.S. Agent, a.k.a. Captain America. Hannah John-Kamen plays Ava Starr, who is the Ghost. Olga Kurylenko is Antonia Dreykov, who is Taskmaster. And we also have Geraldine Viswanathan, who plays Mel. And Wendell Pierce is Congressman Gary, because I know Wendell, he and I worked on The Wire. Got to give a shout out to Wendell Pierce. And again, there's a lot of other actors involved in cast and crew involved. But those are who I'm highlighting out the break. And so, yeah, those are cast and crew. We talked about John's initial thoughts. Brief synopsis. And again, I'm going to spoil a little bit because I want to talk spoilers. And because I also want to hear John really get in on his thoughts as well. The story behind Thunderbolts. This is the latest installment of MCU. Hopefully you've been involved with the MCU since the jump off. We got a lot of elements coming together since this is the latest film, and all these things are interweaving because these Thunderbolts are basically an amalgamation of a lot of the double agents, the assassins that have been kind of put together from Allegra de Fontaine, Julia Louis-Dreyfus's character, to kind of be the underpinnings, to fight the dark elements throughout the Marvel MCU, as well as the television series that we have on Disney Plus. Because John Walker came from the Winter Soldier and Falcon and the Winter Soldier. That's where we first introduced that character. Red Guardian was in the Black Widow film, as well as we know Florence Pugh. She kind of came out of that, and then some of the other subsequent films. Bucky, since the jump off with Captain America. Ghost came from the Ant-Man films, and as well as Taskmaster from the Black Widow film. So those are all these different characters that are kind of put together as this group, this Black Ops team. So the film, we have Allegra de Fontaine. She's being investigated by the government and her whole Black Ops regime. She's trying to cover it all up. So she puts all of her assassins into this death trap that she sets up out in the middle of the desert to hopefully have them kill each other off. But unfortunately for her, they decide to team up, break out of this prison. And when they do that, there's also a special project called the Century Project that joins them along for the ride. But as they break out, Allegra de Fontaine, can't forget the gets a hold of her Project Century again, which then becomes the ultimate villain that the rest of the team has to face towards the end of the film. And so there's your basic story of Thunderbolts. I want to throw it to John now. And again, John, feel free to spoil. You had low expectations heading in. I kind of broke down the story and the cast. Tell me your thoughts after watching the film.
Okay, so first, let me just frame this as so like so people know I'm not an anti Marvel
You're not a
universe,
hater?
DC universe. No, because I mean I read comics too when I was younger. So I had the Wolverines, I had the X-Men, Uncanny and Regular, like I had the Savage Dragon, Mad Max stuff from Dark Horse and Image. So I mean I grew up on that stuff too. But also I hold allegiances to no one. So like I like Spawn, but there are some Spawn movies that didn't need to be made. Okay, like
I hear that.
Spawn and the Violator was epic, but then I see it in person and I'm like, John, what is John Leguizamo doing? But that I digress though. So with this, it's not a bad film. I just didn't think it was nowhere near as good as like all these comments I'm seeing, even from critics, like give Florence Pugh the Oscar now, and even the commercials like the best Marvel film since Endgame. Man, what? No, absolute no. Far from that. But is it good? Yes, I do like the film. I thought it was funny. Your dude Red Guardian was hilarious as usual. I like the fact that more than anything, because a layer of it that people aren't talking about is mental health. Since we're talking spoilers, so this guy's evil power, outside the fact that he's strong or whatever, is this darkness, and it parallels in real life what people actually experience when you have that voice in your head telling you you're never going to be anything, you're never going to accomplish anything, why even try this and this and that. And so the film really did a fantastic job, I will say, layering in the importance of community with the actual plot of the film, still keeping the authenticity of its comic origins. You know what I'm saying? So the whole time, like the most powerful part of the film is when they save him. They're breaking through all the things, and when he thinks he's by himself and he's gonna fall totally to the darkness, Florence Pugh runs up and hugs him, and then the next person hugs her, and then the next person hugs both of them, and it's just like the importance of community, and that all that love literally kept him from sinking into the darkness and having the darkness take over. So like the whole thing was like a mental health success story. So from that angle, I thought it was excellent. So I gave the film I gave it an 8.5 out of 10. So I didn't think it was what everyone else is raving about, but I did like it though. But I think I liked it for different reasons than most people liked it. The emphasis on mental health and why, because we were never meant to do life alone. So the emphasis on community, and I even embedded in my review a talk by my pastor, Christina Guillermo Handfair, because she had been talking about the Lord's Prayer and how when individuals say it, they use the term us, because when we're praying, even in the community of believers, it's still a us. So you hear basketball teams say the Lord's Prayer, football teams say the Lord's Prayer. Those are groups of people using the term us even when praying to God. So no one is supposed to be doing anything, although life is hard enough as it is. So this movie really emphasized the importance of community, because even them by themselves, they couldn't accomplish anything when they were trying to escape, when they got set up, and when they were trying to help out. Oh boy, I can't remember his name. What was it? George? What was his name?
Bob.
That's it. Bob.
Yeah.
Bob. So
Bob.
like even when they were trying to help individually, it was ineffective. But when they worked together as a group, as a community, they were able to get through to him. And it's the same way they were able to escape once they worked together as a community. So It really, really hit on some important points in life, and I thought it was a good lesson in the importance of mental health and keeping a good community around you. So that is why I liked it.
You know what? I'm very excited to hear, because I thought you were going another way, but I think I know where you're also coming from, because so you and I didn't make it the initial press screening date. You and I saw it on the same day. Our fellow mutual friends saw it before us because they were able to make it out.
Yeah.
And like you, shout out to our pal Anthony Francis.
Anthony Francis.
Anthony got into my ear, and I'm wondering if that's what got into your ear as well.
Yes.
Because when he told me it was number 2 to Black Panther for him, if not maybe above Black Panther in his favorite MCU films, I was like, whoa.
Insulting.
And so like you and I, so maybe I think that's what read to you and I. You and I are like, okay, wow, that really amped it up. I'm still going to go in with my expectations, but that brought up, if they're saying it's on almost God tier, right? That's like God tier in regards to like, this, or, the best tier, then that's saying a lot. So, but I try not to let it get that here, but I've been like you hearing a lot of praise from our other critics out there on putting it on those levels. So I can understand your apprehension, and maybe that's why you took away a few stars on your, your thumb, it's an 8 out of a 10 for you, right? I think it's
8.5. Yeah.
8.5. So that, when you have that grandiose thing, it makes you pull back a little bit on giving it all of its flowers. So I hear that, I understand, and I respect that. But like you, I think also why people are putting it out there. I think we're all clicking on that mental health note. That is one of the things I loved most about this film, is that it spoke. And unlike a lot of other teen movies, this was it knows in itself. And even like this hero, they're not super, they're not heroes. I think right here where I'm pointing, you know what I'm saying? It's even in the marketing, or not giving up. How it's just a bunch of folks that are trying to do right. They're not ever expected to do the best, but they make it happen. And it's through not fighting and holding each other. And I love that you put how you put your religion element into your write-up. And it's about us as people coming together. That's really profound. And you don't see it a lot in these action films. And I think that's why people are putting it on that pedestal. So I respect that. I don't know. It's up there for me as one of the films. I don't know where it sits yet. To be honest, Black Panther is still kind of God tier for me. That's number 1. But yeah, I respect other people's opinions. And if it's there for them, you know what? I'm not going to hate on their thoughts. If that's there for you, I love it. You know what I'm saying? Everybody should, respect and love, enjoy, put it where you want it to be. You know what I'm saying? To each their own. I really enjoyed this film. There's some areas that I think could have done better. But I think overall, the messaging that it says with mental health really, and that these are just a bunch of kind of castoffs that are made into a team, and they find a way to come together, says a lot, and I enjoyed it, man. I wish Taskmaster wouldn't have been taken out so quickly. Shout out to Taskmaster, one of my favorite characters in the comics.
I was gonna ask what you thought about that, because that was. I mean, I was like, what was the point? What was the point?
To show the stakes, Someone had to go real quick in the situation. They were all tasked to kill each other, brother. Someone was gonna bite the bullet, or literally take a bullet.
Yeah, and they went quick.
And they actually though paid nod to it later. And I love that the women, and can we give a shout out to women though in this group, representing, because there's a lot of male haters out there, So I love that these super women kind of came together. But yeah, man, I appreciated the film. My daughter and my wife, we went and saw it again over the weekend. They love the MCU. They really liked this film, and that it spoke on mental health. Let me throw it back to you, John. Additional thoughts on Thunderbolts? Anything, other critique or positives or performances that you really appreciated?
Hmm.
That stood out?
What stood out? I liked, even though he didn't play a major role, I liked the fact that Wendell Pierce's character was supposed to be like a serious person, but he didn't portray it really truly seriously. Like I thought that was funny. And then the other guy, I'm trying to remember his name. Oh, Chris Bauer. He trying to remember who his name was when Julia Louis-Dreyfus uh came on the scene and they were like, shoot to kill, and she was like, no, don't kill, and he was like, what do
Oh,
you mean? Like that was him. That was Chris Bauer.
got you.
So
Okay.
like, yeah, so seeing him, just seeing him there, I was like, okay.
What do
Okay.
we know him from? What is he?
Oh, I knew you were gonna ask me. Oh my gosh.
I see that he was in The Wire.
He was in The Wire. Yeah. I was about to say normally I see him in cop stuff, but yeah, The Wire is probably the most notable thing off the top of my head that I can think
You know what?
of.
Looking at him now, I kind of remember this guy. Okay, because
Yeah.
I worked on The Wire. I'm like,
No,
okay.
I didn't know that. I didn't
He
know
did
that
look
until you brought
familiar.
this up.
You didn't know I worked on The Wire? Yeah. Shout out to my brother Wendell Pierce, man. It was cool seeing him. So I'm really hoping he's gonna. I think we did see him in another MCU film. So he's gonna be a character in that background, that government side that I think we'll see more in other films. So shout out to my brother Wendell Pierce getting work on these MCU films. He's gonna get that check.
Yeah.
But yeah, loved him working with Winter Soldier. And I'm gonna give a shout out to Mel, who is Geraldine Viswanathan, the assistant
The
to
assistant. Yep.
De Fontaine's character. I'm curious how she's gonna, be moving along as well in that, the non-super scene within this universe. But I really like the chemistry with Florence Pugh and Red Guardian.
Yeah. That was really good.
How like he thought he lost her at the end, but then they all go into the thing and come back. And then, we won't get into the spoiler end credits, additional credits where we're going to from here. But it's going to be really interesting. We'll say that part because Marvel's now redoing their posters. I don't know if you caught that on today, John. They're putting New Avengers on the Thunderbolts. They made like this piece to paste over their posters, which,
Really?
let's talk on that maybe real quick. What if people didn't get out to the film already, man?
Yeah.
And now you're kind of spoiling the film already.
Look,
I don't like that.
I
wish
was
we saw that.
I was told that as far as spoilers are concerned, you give at least opening weekend, but best effort you give like 2 weeks supposedly.
Agreed.
But like we just saw this last week, so why are they putting New Avengers out when everyone hasn't seen it yet?
They're spoiling their own movie, bro.
Yeah,
Like, what is up? But at the same time, I did see the box office returns, and it didn't do so well. So,
Thunderbolts.
yeah, it's the lowest grossing MCU film thus far right now.
Wow.
Exactly, and it's a decent film, bro. It's up there. It's tracking the Marvels, the second Captain Marvel film that didn't do so well because again, people were, it's all women, blah blah blah. They weren't
That's so
trying to see
stupid.
that.
That's stupid.
It's doing worse than Marvels from what I saw before we got rolling about 2 hours ago. It's not even Marvels there yet, which is sad. It's a good film. I think we can both agree. It's a good film.
Yeah, it's a good film. Like it ain't nowhere near Black Panther or either Avengers movie, but it is it's a good film. It shouldn't be getting the hate that it's getting or the lack of sales that it's getting at all. But
so like I kind of understand them putting the New Avengers tag now for the marketing selling of the film.
because it sounds
But
desperate.
it's spoiling the film now.
It's desperate and it's spoiling. It's definitely spoiling because if you're gonna do that, then people are like, oh, well then maybe I guess we'll go see it since it says New Avengers on it. Maybe it has something to. I don't know. That sounds kind of desperate to me. Also, I've never seen any Marvel film with because you said you don't want to spoil. So like the beginning of the film before it actually
we can talk spoilers if you want. We can talk spoilers.
So the beginning of the film, how there was no trailer or anything, but it promoted the next movie coming out, and then the end credits linked to the beginning of the movie,
weird,
promoting the next one coming. That was weird.
Yeah, it was weird.
That was weird.
So,
it's almost like all of this. It's giving symptoms of we're wiping our hands clean with this. We finally got it over with. We're betting our lives on Fantastic Four. That's what it feels like.
Yeah.
But that's what it feels. They promoted it in the beginning. They promoted it later on, and now you're saying that they're literally erasing Thunderbolts and putting out new events. That's something they're supposed to learn in the film. So, I'd rather you just come out and be like, you know what, guys, just get ready for Fantastic Four, because that's basically what they're pushing indirectly.
Yeah. It's I think it's sad, but yeah, it's just sad. I would have handled that differently. And above all, especially when this is a great film.
Yeah.
And then a lot of people are seeing it, other critics, and and they're putting it up there as some of the best. It's wild. Without giving it letting it breathe a little bit. Let it breathe. You just drop the film. Let it breathe. Let the positive word get out.
Yeah.
But I think I'm excited for where the future is going. Let's close this out with now post Thunderbolts, brother. You've seen it. You give it an 8.5. Mm-hmm. I'm probably right there, 8.5, 9 range, because of the. There's not too much I would change out of it. I think the cast, the crew, everything, the way it was shot, everything was handled pretty good. I thought it was a decent film. So how excited are you for Fantastic Four First Steps, where we're heading now with these characters as Avengers with a Z or the Century? These characters now, how they're going to play out with the rest of the MCU moving forward.
It'll be interesting. I'm waiting because honestly, I'm just waiting for the whole thing to merge. Because again, I read the comics like you. I talked to one of my guys that writes with us, TBZ, who does all the conventions and stuff like that. We're in 2025. Okay, 7 years before the Fox merger, before they bought out Fox. My guy TBZ asked the VP of Marvel Studios straight up on the red carpet, when are we getting Avengers versus X-Men? And he froze and he laughed. And then he was like, wow, that's a great question. Let's see how this merger deal goes, blah, blah, blah. And then, hey, you guys holler at me later and this and this and that. I mean, totally threw that man off guard. But ultimately, that's what I'm waiting on. So the more that these films come out, just bring it together, because I want to see the ultimate combination finally happen. But as far as Fantastic Four goes, it'll be interesting to see what they do with it, because I know a lot of people were iffy on the first one. I didn't mind the first one. It wasn't the best, but it wasn't the worst. But
Which Fantastic Four you talking? Oh, you're talking about the old school one?
Old school
back
one.
With under Fox? Or there was that other one that had Michael B. Jordan in it as well. There's 2 other iterations that we had.
Oh, no. I'm talking about the one with Jessica Alba.
Okay. Got you. Because remember, a lot of people ain't talking about the Miles Teller, Michael B. Jordan. Got the other cats that are in that one.
Dang. I forgot all about it until you brought it up.
Yeah, people don't speak on that one because that was kind of. I thought it was okay, but it wasn't that great.
Flame on.
To me, I'm a comic reader, man. There's like the regular 619, but there's also those what if stories. There's those alternate versions. It's a multiverse, man.
Yeah,
I've always had multiversal thinking of these different type of films. You can always go back. You can say it was a different area. You can always go.
That's
back.
true. I'm not the biggest fan of Spider-Man, but because I read the comics, I love Spider-Man 2099. So
yeah, right. And people, there's all those different iterations now, man.
Yeah.
Some people's their Spider-Man now is Miles Morales.
Yeah, that's true.
They know Miles more than they know Peter, which is respect. Whatever you glam onto, man, that product's there. If you want that, you can go to that. Boom, to each their own. Respect and love to everybody who, find your own, man. It's there for you, or create it. There you go.
Exactly.
All right, brother. Thank you for joining me to talk all things Thunderbolts. I think we're on the same path on our thoughts on this. It's a great film. I wish the own studio would give it more love and not spoil things for everybody else. But I'm excited to see where it's going, man. Really excited. All right, brother. If they want to see how they can check out the Peach Review, all the stuff you got going on, because you're killing it, my man. You got all the soccer stuff going on, the music stuff going on, the theater stuff going on. How can people check out my man, John Jones?
Man, thank you so much. If you want to check out our film reviews, our TV reviews, our upcoming coverage of the Club World Cup, FIFA Club World Cup, you can check us out at thepeachreview.com and on our social media channels. All of them are at The Peach Review.
There you go. Shout out to my brother John Jones, the amazing John Jones. Not to be confused with Martian Manhunter for my real comics heads out there, because they know that John Jones is the Martian Manhunter. This is another Manhunter right here. He's for the Peach Review, my brother John Jones. I'm Kuya P. This is Nerds Rule the World. If you like Thunderbolts, if you're vibing with the Thunderbolts, or if you're not, let's talk about it in the comments below. Where do you see the Marvel Universe heading? Let's talk all things. I want to talk about it. All right, John Jones, your boy Kuya P. Nerds Rule the World.
Nerds rule the world.
Nerds Rule the World.
Nerds rule the world.
Pleasure chatting with you. Love to all my nerds who rule the world.
Yeah. Nerds rule the world.
Yes, we do.
Thanks. Nerds rule the world. Thank you.
I love the nerds ruling the world, so more power to you.
Patrick, what up, man? And yes, they do. Nerds rule the world, kid.
Yes,
you know
sir.
Thank
you. Awesome. Kuya P, Nerds Rule the World. Hello.
Yes, they do.
Yes.
Oh,
Nerds rule the world.
I got.
It's in the title of your show, like Nerds Rule the World. Like, I want more black weirdos on screen, and I don't feel like we ever get to see that very much.
Thank you so much. Nerds do rule the world.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you, Nerds Rule.
Love it.
Hello, Sarah. Hello, Julia.
Yes,
Rock on. I love it. Thank you so much.
It's good to see you. I love Nerds Rule the World.
But yeah, there's a heavy nerd component, man.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, if you ask me, nerds rule the world. So
Absolutely.
And you're right. Nerds do rule the world.
we're just the best.
Yes.
Thank you, ladies.
Thank you so much.
Yes. Thank you, guys.
Bye.
It's your boy Kuya P. Nerds Rule the World. Thank you so much, guys. I appreciate you.
do. They rule the world all right.
Yes. Take care, Tony. Thank you, guys.